Hello my friends, my name is Artur Rehi and I am an Estonian soldier. You guys already know what I was. I was an infantryman, a communications guy in the infantry company, which was part of the Estonian Youtuber infantry battalion. We didn't even have armored vehicles, armored personal transports. We moved on foot or we were transported on trucks. It wasn't that rosy actually. Infantryman has to carry all his equipment. It is truly difficult to go through forests of Estonia with all that gear. Some would say, oh, it is not difficult, it is only 8 or 11 months. My personal one was difficult, but it doesn't compare to what these guys are going through. Today we're going to find out about two special forces group, the best ones in the world probably. We have US Navy SEALs, very secretive, the very best, no argue. And then we have Russian Spetsnaz. I guess this might be one of the biggest rivalries in the military also. I mean, everybody knows Spetsnaz and everybody knows Navy SEALs. Many movies about them both. And to compare them is a very common thing to do. Which one is better in real battle situation? This is what we're going to find out today. As we go, I'm going to try to compare it to my own military experience, which is little compared to these guys. But still, I can share some insight at least. Before we start, let me thank the patrons. We have 3 new names who support the channel. First of all, we have George Kovacs. Thank you, George. Secondly, we have William H. Langman. Thank you, William. Third of all, we have Mateo Rodriguez Jr. Thank you, Mateo, for becoming a patron. If you want to support the channel, the Patreon link is in the description below. But now, go and grab your Estonian Youtuber Cup, get some liquids in it of course, get your Estonian spirit ready and let's dive into the video.
Both the United States and Russia have various elite units of soldiers that have been trained both physically and mentally at extreme levels. Navy SEALs and Spetsnaz are 2 of these elite units in the world. Months of extreme training teaches them to endure and withstand the highest levels of physical pain and mental stress. We don't know much about these elite soldiers because, for the most part, what they do remains a secret. They work in the background for much of the time, and only occasionally do their missions go public. Today, we'll compare US Navy SEALs with Russia's Spetsnaz and try to determine which unit is better in a real battlefield scenario.
I feel like Russians show more about the training because Spetsnaz has these demonstration shows. They break bricks with their heads and they bend metal with their hands. They have this demonstration almost like a circus. I'm not making fun of them, but if you as a special elite force military branch need to have these shows, then maybe you have something to make up for, you know, you need to prove to people something. I don't know if Navy SEALs have these shows, oh we are so strong, look I'm gonna break this brick with my head, bang. Russians really do that, it's quite funny. I mean, it's very impressive. I don't think it's something that the elite forces should be doing. But yes, they have all these training fights, mass fights they show to people. People can go and watch. They look really good and coordinated, but it's still coordinated. I mean, I understand we did it in an infantry battalion. We're a peacetime battalion, so we even had open doors day when people came over. We showed weaponry and we had a slideshow, phony battle going on for them. I even have videos of it, but I don't know if country's best force should be doing that. I think you've all seen those Spetsnaz training clips. They jump and they kick and they do all of that circus stuff. But you know, you're not gonna believe it until you see it in real battle.
Human resources. The Navy SEALs have access to a much larger pool of viable candidates than their Russian counterparts. The US has a greater population and comparatively has bigger armed forces. Due to ethnic diversity in America, there is a larger and wider pool of different body types, mindsets, and physical and mental skills, which are essential for different kinds of missions. Whereas Russia is relatively more homogeneous in this regard, especially in terms of the mindset of its soldiers. The US has much broader access to native speakers of various languages across the world and people who understand particular cultures.
It is actually a big thing, genetics. Different races have different body types, different abilities to do something physically, and if you don't have this mixture makes you stronger. Difference unites, I think that's the truth. But in Russia there's no difference, no. Everybody who is different there will be actually pushed out of the group, bullied, beaten. It is quite bad. As much as I've heard from Russians in Estonian military, Russian military, you can't be much different there. Even if you're not different, you might get unlucky sometimes, you get beaten. But if you are different, you're shorter, taller, you're gay, maybe you're a little bit weaker, they'll be quite mean to you. I think the strength in Marines and Navy SEALs and all of US military branches, a little bit of it comes from the difference, that people are so different backgrounds, and that unites them all.
Cultures. In some cases, this can make or break the planning and execution of special operations. Vice versa for action in Russian or Slavic-speaking parts of the world. Selection and training. To join the Navy SEALs, you need to be a natural-born or naturalized American between the ages of 18 and 28. They must train for at least 6 months before deployment, including underwater scenarios, freefall, demolition training, and engaging in hostage and terrorist simulations.
All of these words, freefall, underwater training, terrorist situations, defusing bombs, I didn't learn any of that stuff. I learned how to be an infantryman, a foot soldier, a front man in a battle, first to be killed. I was in Alpha company. Alpha is the one who gets bombed first, because in a battle triangle their company is in the front. So I basically learned how to be minced meat in the battlefield. Truly, that's what I feel sometimes. Since we don't have armored personnel carriers, our tactics were quite deadly sometimes. I mean, you can't do anything if the enemy has tanks or BTRs, as Russia does, and we're an infantry company. What can we do? We have to be like the Finnish in the Winter War, take down a BTR but go down with it. But these guys, they learn so much more. They learn everything there is to know about battlefields. They can fight underwater, in the snow. I don't know if Navy SEALs can fight in the snow. Spetsnaz definitely can. They can defuse bombs. There's nothing these guys can't do. There's a platoon or a squad of Navy SEALs or Spetsnaz against me. I wouldn't feel safe even in a BTR or a tank.
They must also go through an extreme test of endurance known as Hell Week, in which trainees must run, swim in cold water, and crawl through mud almost non-stop for 6 days, with only a total of 4 hours sleep. Only about half of the candidates survive the training. Navy SEALs are organized into teams 1 to 5 and 7 to 10, some of them with a specialty beyond their already intelligent and deadly skill set. For example, SEAL Team 2 specializes in Arctic combat. But if we are trying to compare the toughest with the toughest, we have to talk about SEAL Team 6, which was formed after Delta Force failed at rescuing the hostages in Iran in 1980. They require even more training after their time being regular SEALs, including scenarios like parachuting from 30,000 feet.
Delta Force failed at something? Delta Force is the secretive American elite force that no one really knows much about. In the government is secretive about it. Their existence is not admitted anywhere officially. I don't think the US government admits that Delta Force exists, but everybody knows about them. They're known to be one of the deadliest special forces in the world. But if they failed, and that's why they created SEAL Team 6, then these guys at SEAL Team 6, they're Terminators then. If they're better. But I mean, your training can only go that much. You cannot be trained at everything. It would take too much time and then you wouldn't be efficient in the battlefield anymore. You have to have some kind of specialization. I wonder what would be the thing they would teach us if, let's say, we have SEAL Team 6 coming to Estonia, Kuperjanov Infantry Battalion, for 1 week to teach Estonian conscript. What would they teach us infantry conscripts? What would they teach? What would be the first thing they think is the most important in battle that we are lacking? I wonder. What do you think it is? We're back once again. We'll find out about the state of the day and the state of the day fact. Oh yeah. First one is Elizabeth Jameson Neely. Elizabeth is a beautiful name. Jameson is a whiskey bottle. And you are from Washington, but not just Washington, Washington DC. We do have 1 point for DC. This is the second one. Way to go, Elizabeth. We have Ruben Gonzalez. Ruben, you're from Fort Huachuca. If it says fort, then it's probably a US base, right? Very cool that people from the bases are getting my cups. Actually, a lot of US military personnel have been getting them. Soldiers, pilots, ship crew, carry on. Fort Huachuca, very native name I think. It is in Arizona. Ben Bangeman. I said it like that because it's not American. No, it is truly a new country in our list. One of the biggest allies of America in Europe, one of the biggest bases, Rammstein is in that country. That is in Germany. Ben, you're from Ostfildern, Germany. Germany requires a new marker, a blue one. Let's add the country. If you are in Rammstein Air Base in Germany, press the F in the comments. Everybody knows. Way to go, Ben. We have Justin Titus from Peabody, Massachusetts. Justin here wrote to me, we had a little chat. You can always write to me, make fixes to your names if you want to, put the points to other states than you ordered them to, because some people live in another state than they grew up with and they feel loyalty to other state. They want the points to go there. It is very possible and I can come your way. Gregory Harmates. Gregory, you're from West Allis, Wisconsin. And lastly we have Daniel Bishop. Bishop is a cool name, I like it. Daniel, you're from North Andover, Massachusetts. Massachusetts, we already heard that name today. You know what that means? Massachusetts is the state of the day. Way to go, Daniel, you made history for your state. Thanks to you we will find out the state of the day fact, and Massachusetts will get the state of the day green line under its name. Let me add the points first. Way to go, Massachusettsians. The fact about Massachusetts. It's the only state that has a state bug, a state insect, official insect of the state. And again, can you guess what it is? It is a weird one. It is a fire ant. No, I'm joking, it's a ladybug. Truly. The state insect of Massachusetts is a ladybug. That is cute. Very cute. Way to go, I like this. My friends, you're truly doing great with the competition. I like the way you're going, you're getting the cups. Some of you are putting the points to other states than where you ordered them from because you feel loyal to them. It is very... I see your loyalty to your home country and your home places. I feel the same thing for my country, so we are united by this. Keep getting the cup, I'll keep adding the points. Thank you. Back to the video.
Specific details of Spetsnaz training are secret material. Born in the mid-1950s, during the Cold War, the Soviet Spetsnaz were originally specialized in missions of stealth, sabotage, and even infiltration. According to the little information that's available, there is great emphasis on hand-to-hand combat. Their fighting technique is called Sambo, a martial art of struggle originating in the Soviet Union. In addition, most of the maneuvers are carried out with explosives and real fire, which causes them to have one of the highest mortality rates in the selection processes of special forces.
Oh yeah, this is crazy. We've all seen those videos, I've reacted to them also. Spetsnaz trains in real ammunition, live ammunition, and they even train themselves to be hit with live ammunition, and they give you a gun quite early to shoot near each other. The training involves not shooting towards each other, but shooting slightly next to each other. And if you make a mistake, the other guy is dead. Go and train to be a Spetsnaz, you might be one of the best guys, but the guy next to you makes a mistake and just kills you. I think it's a little bit stupid. Of course, it makes you very strong and the other guy also very accurate, and to be able to shoot with close misses with your battle buddies, but people might get killed during training and that doesn't help anybody. The highest mortality rate, right? I don't know why they do that. I don't think it serves that much of an effect to shoot live ammunition. I think the mortality rate is worse than the effect it causes. Oh, our soldiers are trained, they can actually use live ammunition, they're not afraid, but you have dead conscripts. Horrible for business, horrible for country. So I think it's a bad call. I think, yeah, truly. I'm glad Navy SEALs don't do it. We shot a lot of live ammunition, a lot of it, but as we shot it was all safe. You didn't shoot if somebody was at your sector went like that with your weapon. Somebody was here or near it, you just didn't shoot. It was quite safe. So we didn't do anything near as extreme as that. And I'm glad. I might be a soldier, but I don't want to play around with death.
Each unit is made up of a team of 8 to 10 soldiers who act under the orders of an officer. These soldiers are trained in different specialized fields, such as explosives, precision shooting, and the use of transmissions and reconnaissance. Gear and equipment. The SEALs have an extremely large and exclusive budget, which allows them to buy top-notch gear. However, a lot of it depends on the particular mission they'll be conducting. The weaponry may include light machine guns, assault rifles, submachine guns, pistols, and sniper rifles, which come from a variety of manufacturers.
Maybe I should do a video. I've never done one. I think about it. I've never done one about infantry weapons. Machine guns, pistols, assault rifles. I've never done a video about that. And I know SEALs have some specialized weapons that are good underwater and in Arctic situations. Because yes, regular mass-produced weapons, you think, oh yeah, they work everywhere. Well, they don't. Even in Estonian terrain and weather are sometimes quite terrible. Weapons tend to jam if there's too much rain, mud, or cold. So you do need specialized weapons if you're fighting, for example, in -30 in the Arctics. There has to be some modifications. I want to focus your attention to something. Every time I make a video, I say what I mean. I say what I know. I'm an infantryman. I don't know much about ships, for example, or planes. And you guys correct me in the comments a lot. And I thank you for it. It's truly a place where I learn. I'm gonna be honest, I don't read military articles about US military weapons, planes, ships. So the comment section is where I learn. So it comes straight from you guys. Whatever you write, I read all of the comments actually. I don't reply to all of them, but I read all of them. So I see your comment. If you want to give some information to me, then this is the best way to do it. But don't be mean, please. Some people get really angry when I don't know something, but I have to remind you that it's America. It's half a world away, and I'm learning something about a country very far away. It's not even my own. So it's logical I don't know this. But be peaceful, be patient, and just explain things. Thank you.
Non-weapon equipment ranges from standard military issue to commercial off-the-shelf products. Again, pretty much anything required to get the job done is at the disposal of SEALs. In terms of specialized equipment, the Spetsnaz have a wide array of custom-made electronics, weapons, software development muscle, and capital-intensive modifications of common military platforms. The Spetsnaz are usually afforded the opportunity to get the first pick of new types of weaponry. They also enjoy much greater freedom to customize, mix, and match their tools of war.
Okay, so Spetsnaz actually has more modified weapons and specialized weapons. I would imagine it's true because yes, Russia is capable of creating new weapons, new technologies, but they're not capable of producing them en masse. What they can produce en masse is Kalashnikov and BTR, not newer types, highly developed weapon systems. Not possible. So Spetsnaz is a small group. They can give it to them, but not to all the conscript. Russia is a conscript system also. They cannot give it to hundreds of thousands of foot soldiers. They don't have the capability of mass producing much things except for Kalashnikovs and these old school Soviet types weaponry and transports. I recently made a video about the M1 Abrams tank in America, right? One of the best tanks in the world. Well, now Germans and French have also their new tank, which is very good and can rival the Abrams, although US and Germany and France are allies. Then we have Armata in Russia. You know, the T-12, was it? The best tank in the world. Yes, it looks good on paper, but it doesn't exist. Russia cannot mass produce. It's not possible. Highly intelligent weapon systems, they cannot mass produce. They can just make a few to frighten the world, but it doesn't exist. They might have 10, 20, maybe 50 tanks, but if you have 50 tanks for a country size of Russia, then you don't have a tank. The number is nothing. And it's the same deal with these new kinds of weapons, new kinds of systems. It takes too much. I looked into it a little bit, what it takes to produce computer chips, intelligence systems, how much manpower and brains it takes, and that potential is just lacking in Russia, unfortunately.
In terms of physical access intelligence and support infrastructure, the US leads by far. This includes aircraft carriers, the fastest vessels, and the presence of numerous military bases across the globe. Spetsnaz would find it almost impossible to deploy to some places in the Middle East or Africa on short notice, as Russia has fewer bases outside the former Soviet Union. Satellite intelligence and various other intelligence options give significant advantage to the US, whereas Russia has not invested sufficiently over the years into such capabilities.
Yeah, I mean, the US has poured money into foreign bases for the last 50 years, 60 years, billions of dollars, but that means they can be anywhere within hours' notice. This US Special Forces could be in a few hours other side of the world and still be on Allied territory, and then just jump into the enemy territory and boom, come back out if the mission is done. They don't need to fly over many thousands kilometers of enemy territory as the Russians need to do if they need to deploy somewhere in Northern Africa, for example. What is the closest base to Northern Africa or Middle Africa if they need to deploy there? It's in Syria. Still takes 1,000 kilometers to fly over foreign territory. US doesn't have that problem. Allies everywhere, and then if it is the enemy territory, you can just go in like a needle and come back out very fast and efficient, destroy the target and pull back. The enemy doesn't even know what happened. Time and precision strikes, they can do that. Russia cannot do that. Since Russia doesn't have the capability, they do have to strike with force, actually, yes. You don't have a huge territory, you need to make your way to the place you need to be deployed, so you just ram into it with many men and, you know, hoorah, there we go, Stalingrad again. Doesn't work nowadays anymore. We've seen that in Syria also. US and Russian forces have collided there. I mean, Russian separatists or privatized military firms, their soldiers, and it doesn't look good for the Russians there. It is not public information, but many Russian soldiers have died in Syria fighting the American soldiers, actually.
In addition to naval assets, the U.S. has some unique air resources, such as the Boeing V-22, Black Hawk, and Little Bird helicopters, which are specifically designed for the Special Forces. The U.S. has a much larger and far-reaching fleet of aerial refueling planes. Russia's helicopters are state-of-the-art. However, they have no stealth capabilities and create a large amount of noise. So Spetsnaz may only be competitive in shorter range missions. Media exposure. Members of both units are known as quiet professionals and are notorious for being immensely secretive. Unfortunately, with today's social media, 24-hour news coverage, and leaks within the government, it can be difficult to keep information out of the media, no matter what steps are taken to ensure secrecy. Both units carry out high-profile missions. However, Navy SEALs have gained much more notoriety and unwanted media exposure in recent years due to government leaks and Hollywood blockbuster movies such as Zero Dark 30.
I think Russia works very hard to show a certain part of Spetsnaz, the foot training, the incredible shooting style they have, using live ammunition, shooting very close to each other, showing how efficient they are, but it's all coordinated play. And yes, I agree that Navy SEALs have gotten a bad rep a little bit, because I've seen this and that, I've seen movies, video clips, real clips of their missions going live also. They have missions that they do fail sometimes, it is normal that you do, but it's bad rep if you close live. Very bad rep. For me, there's no deal. I think Navy SEALs are better. I think in hand-to-hand combat, maybe Spetsnaz would win, but everything else really, that is not hand-to-hand combat, which is most of the battles, Navy SEALs would win. That's my opinion. Feel free to change it in the comments. I will read it. Maybe you change my mind. My friends, if you like these kind of videos, I want to make videos more about infantry also. Become a patron, send me a message there, and I'll read it and I'll make a video about it. There are 3 new patrons tiers that will get you 3 new things. A signed postcard, a signed Estonian Youtuber Cup, or a video chat with me. Go and check them out and we can have a call, or you can get a signed cup. And as always, my friends, until my next video, stay cool and bye bye.